Now, the Knysna Municipality's water supply system has reached a critical stage with water resources and infrastructure across the municipality remaining under severe strain. Residents have been urged to drastically reduce their water consumption as the town now edges closer to day zero. Now, in the past couple of days, the Akkerkloof Dam, the municipality's primary storage facility, has been at approximately 18% and translating to an estimated 15 days of usable water at present consumption levels. Now, to give us an update on the situation in Knysna, we're joined by the Knysna Municipality's we're joined by Johnny Douglas, who's the co-chairperson of the Knysna Municipality Joint Operations Committee. Mr. Douglas, thanks so much for your time. Welcome to Morning Live.
Morning, Sakina, and the viewers. Thanks for this opportunity.
Can we just start by just getting an update on the situation as it stands this morning right now? The Akkerkloof Dam, what are the levels there? And as far as edging closer to day zero, how many days of usable water does the municipality have as we speak?
Thanks, Sakina, for that. The Akkerkloof Dam this morning, the level of our Akkerkloof Dam, just some perspective on the Akkerkloof Dam. The Akkerkloof Dam is basically an off-channel dam, so it doesn't have a river that runs into it. So we pump water from the Knysna River from our Charlesford pumping area. So this morning, the Akkerkloof Dam was at 19.6%, meaning 15 to 16 days of water within the Akkerkloof Dam. The Akkerkloof Dam is just an indication to us what is the level of water that we can then distribute into our system, but it does not mean that there's no water in our system at this time, but we do pump from the various rivers. The Charlesford pumping station, as I've already alluded to, is on a river system. We pump from a weir. We also have an in-channel dam, which is the Glebe Dam, and the size of that Glebe Dam is about 450 megaliters of water. So that one is then fed by a river system that we can then pump into the Akkerkloof. So the Akkerkloof, as an off-channel dam, is our indicator what is the level of water that we can distribute to our communities.
So as it stands this morning, what are the levels? And, you know, we were talking about something like, less than 10 days. Where are we right now in terms of the usable water supply that's available to the municipality?
Usable supply, it's a 19.6%. Which equates basically to between 15 days and 16 days of water in the Akkerkloof Dam. So that's the usable water that is available from us, from the Akkerkloof Dam. But what we've also done as the municipality, as one of our emergency measures, we are pumping water from a borehole in town, courtesy from the Muslim Judicial Council. So what we are doing from that borehole is to transport it then into our water purification plant. Just an indication, Sakina, yesterday we tanked about 60,000 liters of water from that specific borehole, just also to see what is the yield of that borehole. So basically yesterday the indication was then that we do have about 60,000 liters of water that can be added then to the system at our water purification plant.
And just with regard to the situation facing the municipality now, how did you get to the situation where you are staring day zero in the face? If you could just give us, what led to this dire situation.
Thanks, Sakina. I think climate change do have a real impact on the Knysna. As we all know, Knysna is a water scarce municipality within the Southern Cape, and Knysna don't have an in-channel dam as all the other municipalities do have a clear dam to dam up water. So Knysna is dependent on short rivers blocked by weirs, where we pump then the water into this off-channel dam. I think other issue that contributed to this after 2010 perhaps is that the council did not prioritize perhaps building this dam. I know it is on the cards since 2002, but the reality is it was never implemented. We had the same situation in 2010 where we also had a disaster, a local disaster declared, and certain boreholes or projects were drilled. But I think the issue that we've also seen over these years is the instability in council, be it now political or administrative, that contributed to this aging infrastructure not being upgraded. So what we are busy now as the latest appointees in the administration and the latest councillors, we're focusing on how do we get um, continuous water into our system, focusing then on repairing leaks as a matter of urgency, and also to focus on our water services development plan to ensure that we have a sustainable water supply for Knysna Municipality moving forward. As I've already said, we will have to look at long-term plans moving forward. Yesterday, we had a visit from the Western Cape Premier, and we also found that we must focus for the next 3 to 5 years on getting a sustainable water supply for the community of Knysna.
And of course, it is very worrying because from your explanation, Mr. Douglas, it seems as though it's a combination of, natural causes from climate change, but also mismanagement, as it were, from what you've just indicated, that this was initially identified in 2009-10, and here we are in 2026 and staring down the barrel of day zero. Be that as it may, though, in terms of the accountability. So no one is taking accountability from what I can glean at the offset. And that raises the question of going forward and fixing it. Because as things stand right now, we saw the Minister of Water and Sanitation talking about declaring a disaster in this municipality, making money available. Who's going to be responsible for making sure that what is wrong, what has gone wrong, the lack of maintenance and everything else is actually fixed?
Thanks, Sakina. I think the National Minister was here over the weekend also engaging with us as well as the provincial government assisting us now to develop clear plans. Primary responsibility is with the local municipality. In terms of the Water Services Act, Knysna Municipality is the water service authority and water service provider, meaning that we must take responsibility and accountability as council, as well as the administration in moving forward now with the identified critical aging infrastructure that needs to be replaced. I think with our stakeholders and province and national government, that we need to work as an integrated team now moving forward rather than blaming each other. Because to blame each other will not assist in moving forward. And I think we need to be more reconciliatory now moving forward. But also, Council took a resolution that we need to focus on consequence management, what happened, doing a full investigation in terms of our relevant legislation, and that disciplinary actions be taken against those found flouting the rules, not implementing council decisions, not utilizing the funding that we've received, be it now from province or national. But there is an integrated team working on this now from the job side. And as soon as we have all these projects and critical plans in place, it will be handed over to our Director of Infrastructure that will have them to implement those action plans that Council has approved. The monitoring and oversight will have to be fulfilled by Council, as well as by province and DWS.
And just to be clear, Mr. Douglas, it's not about the blame game. It is about accountability, because you have a town, you have a municipality that has a budget. I'm looking at how much was budgeted, approximately 1.263 billion for the 2024-2025 financial year, specifically designed to protect, maintain and improve infrastructure and service delivery. So if money is being budgeted, and I would imagine that would have carried through over several years, why wasn't the work done? If the work was done, then obviously something went wrong, because you are sitting with the situation where you're now approaching day zero. So accountability is important. It cannot be that the public just listens to monies being spent and paid, and yet the infrastructure is falling apart.
Yes, Sakina, I totally agree with you, and as I've already alluded to, accountability rests with the municipality. We will have to take that blame as the administration as well as the council. But as from now onwards, we need to be precise how we implement projects. What is the turnaround? What is our action plans? And I think what is also important, the support from province and national is critical in guiding the municipality moving forward. We do have clear plans in place now, moving forward with our integrated waste management and integrated water management plan that we're looking at. And I think what we're also busy now is to look at how we close the gaps, because we've identified some clear gaps on how we implement projects. So it's a stop-start approach that we've seen, and not a continuous process that we've adopted. But I think with the administration now moving forward, most of our directors has been appointed within the last year. So moving forward now, there is a clear performance management system in place that will be monitored by the municipal manager and council. So accountability is key for us as the administration, and I think also then for our political leaders within the Knysna municipality. And I think the community needs to really keep us as the administration and council. Since we all know that it's I normally refer to it as a three-legged pot. If one leg is not pulling its weight, the whole pot will collapse. And I think we need to also understand that we need to be clear moving forward. We will work together as council, administration, and the community. There's already some key stakeholders that we are engaging with in Knysna municipal area, like your KID, the Knysna Business Chamber that is assisting us. Within the job, we've established some clusters that will work together to assist us in cleaning up all our action plans based on the budget that you've just written down. I think it's important. We're also busy now as the municipality to reprioritize our own budget so that we can prioritize water services or water service delivery is a key priority within the municipality.
Is there a plan, though, Mr. Douglas? Do you have a clear plan on what to do? Because water is also just getting lost again due to mismanagement. There was a report that was submitted that spoke about the maintenance of taps and toilets in Knysna's informal settlements that remain a significant challenge, where you're losing water. So that was last year. This was at the end of April 2025. Is there a plan in place right now that you can speak to us about, where you are essentially trying to deal with all of these issues that have led to the loss of water, which is a finite resource that you obviously don't have at the moment?
Thanks, Sakina. Yes, we do have a clear plan in place. We've appointed additional plumbers within the municipality. There's about 7 plumbing teams now working. So we've appointed an additional 5 plumbing teams. So we're also setting up some critical teams to work on this. But we've also done, Sakina, for the informal areas, we have signed an agreement with Pacificilani, which is a non-governmental organization. So they are focusing on our settlements now. We've started in December already, and we've seen the fruits from that appointment with Pacificilani. We provide the material Sifikilani is doing the work within the informal settlement. Moving towards our own leagues in our major pipe bursts, as I've already alluded to, there's about now 7 teams. We're appointing another 5, so we will then sit with about 12 teams of plumbers that will respond to major leaks. We've also appointed some service providers to assist us with these major leaks, because what we've picked up is that we sometimes don't have the capacity internally to deal with these major pipe breaks, and then it's a recurrence then.
Mr. Douglas, wishing you well there in Knysna, but of course, we'll also continue to keep an eye on these developments. And as you say, you expect the community to hold the council and its representatives accountable. And of course, as the fourth estate, we will also endeavor to assist the community in seeking accountability. But thank you so much for speaking to us this morning. Johnny Douglas is the co-chairperson of the Knysna Municipality Joint Operations Committee, talking to us about the Knysna Municipality's water supply crisis. Residents urged to drastically reduce water consumption as the town edges closer to day zero. And that behavior has to be instilled. People have to change their consumption patterns.